Are you happy? I'm happy because Starbucks is having happy hour. Of course, I just start my video and this striped orange tail has to come swishing by and oh great, now he's on my lap. Oh, there's my little Gingy. Today's video is inspired by a couple of teenage girls I saw at Target in the book section. So there were two teenage girls. They were looking for a book that I guess they needed for school. I guess sometimes teachers assign reading outside of the text or what's required in the curriculum. So they were looking for novels, and they were talking about how great audiobooks are, and they wish that this book was available in audio format so they can just listen to it instead of reading it. And they were talking about how they hate reading and they just get tired and bored of it. So that's what brings me to talking about audiobooks and my thoughts on it. Please understand that I'm not here to criticize anybody. I know that there are plenty of people who enjoy audiobooks and people who enjoy e-readers, but I personally enjoy reading a regular book because nothing is quite as satisfying as turning the pages of a book. I personally have a hard time accepting an audiobook as a book because there aren't pages bound between two covers, so I don't really consider it a book. For those of you who have never experienced audiobooks, I am going to play a few seconds so you see what I'm talking about, because if you've never experienced having an audiobook, it's kind of hard to have an opinion on it. So I'm going to play a little bit of Cress by Marissa Meyer, the third book of the Lunar Chronicles. I read the book a while ago, very recently, and I really enjoyed it. And I can't see how I could ever enjoy it as an audiobook, but here it is.
Her trip to the bar, setting a drink against Thorne's wrist so he would know where it was. He tilted his head toward her and lifted the cards. "What do you think?" Her braids brushed his shoulder. "I think..." She tugged at two cards in his hand. "These two." "Precisely the two I was thinking," he said, taking hold of the two.
Yeah, so how do you like their little voice impersonations there? Personally, I would fall asleep after listening to that for 5 minutes, and I would have to probably rewind. Does that exist anymore? I'd have to go back and listen to the same thing over and over because I would just space out and not even realize what I had just heard for the last 5 minutes, so I'd have to keep going back. That book is about 8 hours long. Can you imagine 8 hours of that monotonous voice? I mean, yes, they try to kind of give every character an individual voice, but because the reader is just talking like this, it just sounds like Siri trying to impersonate a man, and then you know, the android way they're talking like this. It just does not work for me. I mean, I enjoy reading because when you have a book, you get to manipulate the story, and that is the beauty of reading. It really is. When you watch a movie or a play, the director chooses how the lines are delivered. The casting director gets to choose what the character looks like. But in a book, if you're reading it, you decide what the character looks like in your head because you have your own way of visualizing a scenario and the characters, and you give them your own voice. And, you know, the way the lines are delivered, the way you think about it and the way someone else perceives it could be very different. So you get to manipulate it to the way that you like it. And also, if there's a character's name that you really don't like, you don't have to hear it over and over again. I guess in that way I'm just a control freak, because I also don't appreciate when book publishers put a model on the cover, like people on a book cover. I really can't stand that. I just want to have the choice to decide what the characters look and sound like. So it's clear as day how I feel about audiobooks. I don't like them. I don't see how I could ever jump on the bandwagon and start downloading audiobooks. I did not download Cress, by the way, what I played to you guys. I actually found it on YouTube, and it's, yeah, 8 hours of just a dark screen and some robot reading the story to you guys. And I've been thinking about doing this video for a long time, and just seeing those girls listen, I didn't mean to listen, but I overheard their conversation about audiobooks. It kind of just prompted me to do this video sooner rather than later. But I'd been thinking about talking on the topic of audiobooks for a while because for some reason, a lot of beauty gurus on YouTube are, I guess, advertising audiobooks. I'm just wondering why all of a sudden, like maybe 3 months ago, these YouTube girls started advertising for audible.com, like Michelle Phan and Elle Fowler, Blair Fowler, and maybe Bethany Moda and others. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, there's all this hype about it. The bottom line is, I feel that if you have the choice to read a book or listen to it, I will always read it for myself because I want to be able to manipulate the story and I want to be able to get lost in a book and just be a part of the story. You can't quite do that when you have a robot going wah, 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 wah in your ears. So that's my opinion, my thoughts on audiobooks. I'm curious to know what you guys think because I know there are a lot of book lovers on YouTube and there's this amazing book community on YouTube that I just love so much, and I have not heard much from anybody about it. I mean, yeah, people talk about reading from their Kindle and things like that, but how do you guys feel about audiobooks? Do you like them? See my cat back there? There's my other one, Onyx. But thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye! If you saw anything fuzzy and blurry on that side, that was my cat's whiskers. It's not for kitties.